Today I have a music interview with a special guest. And what is your name?
Akina Adderly.
Let's just get right into the questions. Akina, do you play any instruments?
I do. I am a singer and I play piano. And I can hack through a few Joni Mitchell and Patty Griffin songs on the guitar, but not very well.
About when did you start playing music and instruments?
Let's see. I started singing when I was really little. I like to joke that I was singing before I was talking, which I'm pretty sure is actually accurate. And then I sang in choirs and stuff like that when I was a little kid, and all through middle school and high school. And then I started piano lessons when I was 9, I think.
So, when did you find the genre of music you truly enjoy playing, or have you always just kind of liked what you're doing?
That's a good question. So my music background is kind of all over the place. When I was in middle school, I performed mostly art songs and choir and musical theater, but I was into classic rock and grunge. So I was into Led Zeppelin and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and stuff like that. But I never performed that type of music. I just really liked it. And then in high school I was studying opera, so I sang mostly opera. And then in college my parents really wanted me to continue opera, and I did for a minute, but then I kind of found jazz and R&B, and I sang in a singing group, and we sang more contemporary stuff. So much to the chagrin of my parents, I began singing jazz and R&B and pop and stuff like that. And I think they're to this day not psyched that I don't sing opera.
So you went to college for music?
No, actually, I went to high school. Well, I went to the Performing Arts High School in New York, and I was a drama major. And then on the weekends, I went to Manhattan School of Music as a voice major. So I studied both theater and singing and music a lot throughout high school and middle school. So when I got to college, I kind of was I want to write some papers about literature or history or whatever. So I went to Yale, and I was an American Studies major because that was the easiest major to grab from lots of different majors. They were oh, you want to do this political science stuff? You want to do this English stuff? You want to do this music stuff? You want to do this art history stuff? That all counts. So I was bet, I'll do that. And Yale doesn't have a system of minoring, but if they had, I assume I would have been considered a music minor based on how many music classes I took, but I did not go to school for music.
Okay. So what was your experience like with that? Did you enjoy all the different music classes? Do you think it helped you with how you play music now?
Yes. I took a lot of music theory, which is nerdy and mathy and wonderful, and it just really helps you crack the code of some music and helps you comprehend how it relates with each other, and how you get from one chord to the next, and why it sounds the way that it does, and why it has the impact that it does. So that's cool. And then studying opera and music of the 20th century, jazz and blues and stuff like that, definitely just helps me as a person who writes songs and performs songs. It helps to have a kind of a pretty well-rounded source of material that floats around my brain.
Yeah. When did you start kind of leaning into more of a writing songs or music-focused career?
Mm-hmm. So I didn't start writing songs until I graduated from college, actually. I used to write a lot of poetry, and all through middle and high school and college, I wrote poems, and I sung and loved singing and played piano, and my dad many times was why are you not writing songs? You're doing all of the components of writing songs, but separately. It's like having a deconstructed sandwich. You need to construct the sandwich, and I just kind of didn't. My dad's a musician too, by the way. So, whereas other parents try to pressure their kids to do a lot of math and be lawyers, my pressure always came with performance elements. So. Yeah, I didn't start writing until after college. Right after college, I started sort of co-writing with a buddy of mine named Mika, and I just went from there. I will say that I didn't go into a career in music initially. I was it didn't occur to me at the time that I could, even though many of my relatives did, it just didn't occur to me that I could. So I just was I waited tables. I was an administrative assistant for a bridal gown designer company, and I did just random things trying to find my grown-up job, and then I was like, oh, I'm an educator and a musician just like everybody else in my family.
So I guess my final question has to be, when's the next album gonna release?
Ooh, this is a great question. So I have a couple of projects. One is just called Akina Adderly, and one is called Nori. Nori is like, I like to say jazz adjacent. It's called neo jazz for people who are hip to the neo jazz scene. And we are working on our, let's see, fourth record right now. And I'm going in to do vocal tracking in a couple of weeks, and then we'll release this fall. I'm super excited about that. I love that band. You should come see us. Andy, who teaches drums here, is in the band, and a few other folks, a upright bassist, a piano player, and a trumpet player. And yeah, it's super awesome. It's like jazz, but it's like there's world music influence in there, and there's sort of like folky business influence in there. It's lovely. Anyway, so we're working on a record, and then in 2012 was the last time I released a record under my own name. I was with my band Akina Adderly and the Vintage Playboys, and that was the funk soul band. And I just recently was like, bro, I have all of these songs, like well over an amount that's good for an LP. Like, what am I doing? So I'm talking to, it's actually the trumpet player in Nori. His name's Eric Telford. He's my like buddy and co-producer guy. And so we've been talking about it and going through the songs and just sort of having pre-production talks about it. And I hope to go in the studio this summer.
Well, I hope so too. I think everybody will be excited if you release something. Well, that's it. That's all I have. Thank you very much. Very happy to talk to you.